Hey folks, East of Eden grower Creedmoor Fury here, coming to you on a beautiful, beautiful, July 1st day. And I'm down here at my corn plot, just outside the boundaries of my main garden. I just thought I'd take a moment to show y'all, give you a quick update as to how the brand new plot's going. Those of you that have been following along know that I just laid this plot just a couple of months ago. And I planted it, and I did everything I could to make sure that, we were doing it as wrong as possible. Or do I mean as right as possible? It all depends on your perspective and how you've been shown the method. In this particular case, I'm showing you that you can lay a plot and you can lay crops all in the same season, and then they look like this. 5 different kinds of sweet corn, grown in wood chips with compost, above red clay, right in the middle of all things, a sea of thriving Bermuda grass. Last week I placed this border of chips. This is a brand new batch of chips that I received from a close friend of mine who's been fortifying my farm with wood chips for about a year now. And I'm very gracious and grateful for his addition, as well as I am the encouragement to do this experiment by one Buddy Anderson. Dear and true friend of mine said, hey, if anybody can do this, it's you. Thank you, Buddy Anderson. You know I love you. Anyway, here you have it. You can see the thrive. If you followed along, you know all of these were lying sideways because the day after, I should say the evening that my father passed away, we had a really, really big storm and it blew these guys flat to the ground. That night, my wonderful wife and I came out here, stood them all up and tucked them back in. Okay? It was before Father's Day. Now y'all can see the corn thriving. I want you to take a close look here. I'm always talking about how corn needs to be wind pollinated. Watch me. You can see the little pieces of pollen falling off. The wind does this. The reason this plot is right here is because if I put it in my main garden, it's too protected. Doesn't get the wind that they get out here. If I stand back, you can see the wind is actually blowing the leaves around. The tallest are about 5 feet tall, and the shortest are about 2 to 3 feet tall. We've got our companions here, our beans. Everything is lush, everything is green. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Now we're at the back of the plot, and I can show you. There's my vineyard down low. The windrow is about 250 to 300 feet from here. So we do get quite a bit of wind coming from the west to the east. And this is a result of our efforts. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do same season garden construction and same season planting. This is proof. I use the Back to Eden method coupled with the soil food web methods that I've learned over the past 6 years. It's been inoculated with bacteria and fungi. It's been inoculated with a few other things, a few other golden inclusions that I know exist in my compost teas and in my composts. Everything came from nature. Everything's coming back from nature. I'm going to get in close and I'm going to show you the signs of frass. Basically what that means is that once the frass is showing, we have a predetermined amount of time before it's time to harvest our fruits. I'm going to look in here where you'll see, hopefully you can see the frass down there. The frass develops below the pollination. When pollination is thorough, the corn cobs will begin to develop. It's certainly no mistake when this happens. It's by higher order. At the base of each of these corn stalks we have planted beans. I would say about 50%, maybe just a little bit more of the beans have come up and started to climb, and the rest will come up as the season moves onward. Like I was saying, we are keeping the invasive, or I should say very hardy rhizomic grasses back at bay. And if I zoom in really, really close, you can see the place they're not growing is in the garden. Pay special attention because there's also no weeds growing there. What I put in there is different than what I put out here. What I put out here is fresh cut ramial wood chips. The leaves are still in there. It's oak. I'm familiar with the trees because I was an arborist for many years. And it's highly resistive to germination of pretty much anything. Inside the garden bed is already aged 1-year-old pine wood chips. I'm calling them out by name and design because I know what they are. If you're curious as to whether or not laying pine and oak near your garden is going to be causing problems for you, does this look like there are problems? Think about it, folks. Be careful where you take advice from. When someone says they can show you, that commands an enormous amount of interest. But when someone says that they just know something is and can't support it with fact, demonstration, or illustration, be suspect. Because this is what happens when you apply biology to your wood chips. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me anytime, day or night. 24/7, 365. That's how long I grow every year. Peace. Be well.